Hi, my name is Ben. I'm the developer behind Spliced, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how a math teacher can use Spliced effectively. Specifically, I'm thinking about a teacher who needs to import equations and formulae and anything that isn't going to be just typed into the device. So in order to make this work, you are going to need a third-party app. So I have a few apps that I've used for creating diagrams, for creating equations. There are a number of them on the App Store. So check them out, find one that's your favorite, and use that with Spliced. Now, essentially, um, you have to use one as a companion app. So in this case, I'm going to be running in a simulator. As a simulator, I have a pointer, and it's useful because you'll be able to see things that I'm indicating on the screen, but there are a few hindrances, which is that if you look at my home screen, I have like no apps at all. I do have iCloud Drive though, and I've put the equations that I'm going to be using in this tutorial into iCloud Drive. So you can pretend that this is any other third-party app. This could be an equation editor app, but essentially what you're going to see is that any app that can be used to edit equations is going to be having a export button, and usually that export button looks like this, and oftentimes it is in the top right corner, just like in this situation here. So I'm going to go back to Spliced really quick and show you what I'm going to be trying to do. I've got my example calculus course and my example unit, and then my fantastically named basic class lesson called the calculus problems lesson. And there's no content in here right now. So I'm going to put in some content under the section called point. Point is how I label each major point of the classroom. So we have our first point, our second point, our third point, and so on. I would also put exercises in my point section. You can do this a couple of ways. You can either write down all of your equations as in one graphic, or you can do individual graphics. In fact, I think I might even go into the Photos app and show you where I got these from. So right now I'm in iPhotos app. I'm going to tap the export button, and you can see that one of the options I'm allowed is to copy. So we will copy all of these images, or not all of these, but this one image to the clipboard, and go back into Spliced. And so for my point, I will say first do these problems. I want to make sure that this appears in the presentation slides. So details is where I put anything for slides. Oh wow, that was long-winded. Okay, save. Now the next point is going to be an image. So I'm going to tap Add Image, and a few options are going to pop up. I could do image from iPhoto Library, which is the app I was just using, or I could say image from clipboard. And since I went through the trouble of copying the image to the clipboard, that is going to be the option I select. You can see the problems appear down there in the preview, and I'm not going to add any more text. We'll just say save. So in the normal viewing interface, you're going to get a very small thumbnail on the side like that. But if you export, we go to Show Slides, it's going to look like that. So this is good, but it might not be what you want to do. Perhaps instead of having one picture with all of the images in that one picture, maybe you want individual pictures. That gives you greater flexibility. You can move things around. So, and also, most of the time when I use a equation editor, I'm not writing all of my problems at one time. I'm doing one problem at a time. So I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to go back into the iCloud app, which is representative of the equation editor app. So let's suppose I'm editing an equation and I've just written this problem right here that I want students to simplify. So if I go into export, you'll see this in two ways now in most third-party apps. It'll appear as an option in the export. So you can say copy to spliced, or you can go down below and tap copy like we did last time. So this time I'm going to tap copy to spliced and see how this is different. So doing this will automatically bring up a import screen, and you're going to have to select where you want to import it and what you want to import it as. So we're going to say we want this one to be imported into the example calculus class, into the example unit, into the calculus problems lesson. Then the component type will be a point. Okay, and we say done. All right, now this is my lesson. I just added the image, but you can see it's not there. That's because the table needs to reset. So to reset the table, just exit and re-enter, and you'll see the image is now there. And you can change the default text. If you leave it blank, it'll just appear as an image. So I'm going to do that with my other problems. I'll go back into my app, and we'll get this large one. So again, I type export, copy to spliced, and I can say where I want it to go. So example calculus, example unit, calculus problems, and what do I want to import it as. Again, it's a point. Now, in my own opinion, this is not the best way to do it. I like doing the copy-paste way. So I'll go over those steps one more time. From my third-party app, I find the equation, or I write the equation that I want to import. So let's grab this other one. And if instead of doing the copy to spliced, I might just tap copy. And tapping copy will put it onto my clipboard. So when I jump back into Spliced and I add a new point, I can tap Add Image, and I can say Image from Clipboard. So that's how it's different if you're going to use copying. So I save, and those are the three problems I want. I'm going to delete this default text. And now, because I've imported them as three separate problems, I do have greater flexibility. I can change the order around, and I can delete one problem and keep the other two. So there are some reasons why you would want to import something as separate problems rather than one problem altogether. So I'm going to export this document, and again we'll go to Show Slides. That's what it's going to appear as if it was a slide. So a slide is just as if you were going to put this on a projector and show the students in class. But I want to do this again as a worksheet or a handout. So I'm going to tap Options and PDF. And that looks pretty good. I might want to leave some space for students to write their answer in between these problems. So to add some space, tap Options again. You're going to jump over to Appearance, and you've got spacing. So one line is the default. We can increase the spacing to 3 lines, or maybe a little bit more. Okay, 6 lines. And save that. And now I've got quite a bit more space around the problems for the students to write their work. Okay, the heading is still there. If you want to see more details on how to edit a assignment, check out my assignment tutorial. And there you go. So I think that it's actually very doable for a math teacher to use Spliced. I hope you enjoy using it. I hope it makes your job a lot easier.